This is going to be a quick video on how to repair this FE error code on these LG front load washers. Now that's the fill error code. I'm going to show you the step-by-step on how to replace the parts that usually fix this issue. But first things first, before you do any of that, the first thing you're going to want to do is drain all the water from there. And the way to do it, you're going to hit the power, you're going to turn it back on, you're going to hit the spin speed, which basically drains all the water. Once you do that, you're going to let the water drain completely, and then we'll go through the next step. Now that we've got the water drained out of it, the next step are going to be the basic ones, the simple things that can be done without having to change out parts. The first thing you want to do is unplug it, give it about 10 minutes, let it reset, plug it back in. Check this little tray. Sometimes it gets clogged in the back. Make sure that this isn't filled with water. That can also give you that FE code. So if it is, you take out these trays and you make sure that there's nothing obstructing the water flow. Next thing you're going to want to do is down here, there is a filter. So you're going to want to remove this, take this little plug out, and let some of the water drain out of there. Have a bucket or something to catch all the water. Once there's no more water coming out, you're going to want to twist this counterclockwise, pull that filter out, and clean it. So as you can see, this one's not really that bad. I've already cleaned this out, and it's still giving me that code. But you might be lucky, and this might be the only issue that you might have hair or whatever stuck in here, and it's not allowing the water to flow out. My luck obviously was not the simple thing. So next step we're going to be doing is changing the parts, which are these. As you can see, I have 3 of them. So the reason is I went on Amazon, ordered the parts. Now there's something that's going to save you a headache. Make sure when you order these parts, you order the correct one. Even though I put in the correct model number for my washer, I ended up getting this one here. So this one is facing the wrong way. You'll see later what I'm talking about. These connectors should not be going this way because that's just going to be in the way. This is actually the correct part. So it should be facing, the connector should be facing straight back. So I'll put in the correct part number on the link below. They run about $30 to $40 for both. So lesson learned. All right, so the first step to remove these inlet valves is going to be to unplug it, and then you're going to shut off your water. After you shut off your water, you remove the lines coming into the back of the washer. So let's go ahead and do that. So before you remove these lines, just make sure you have a mark, which one's hot, which one's cold, in case for whatever reason they tangle up and you forget where they go. So be prepared to have water coming out of these lines and have something to catch all the water. Once those lines are off, you'll remove the bottom screws here and here on these little clamps. Once the 2 lower screws are off, you're going to slide the top cover backwards. So right here, you see this front plate and then the top cover. What you can do to make it easy is you get something that can pry it right here, something plastic that's not going to damage it, and kind of push back a little. Once you push the top cover back about, I would say, 1/4 to 1/2 inch, you should be able to just pop it up. There we go. This step, you're basically going to remove these connectors here. The electrical connectors and the 4 water lines that come in here. All you got to do is make sure you mark the connectors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from top left clockwise. So I'm going to mark this as 1. This one is 2. Next one is 3. Next one is 4. Now when I go ahead and install my new valve, I have it marked as 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going top left clockwise. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Again, you figure out how to mark them your way. Same thing with the lines. Go ahead and mark them whichever way you want, but just make sure that they're going back into the same position. Once I have them marked, I'm going to go ahead and remove the electrical connectors. Next, you're just going to get some kind of pliers to remove these little clamps here. Once we got the hoses removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the 2 screws, these 2 screws. So let's go ahead and do that. Once we got the 2 screws removed, we'll just go ahead and pull it out. So once those 2 screws are removed, the valve pretty much just comes right out. All right, so there you have it. This is a faulty valve. Then we'll just go ahead and replace it with the new one. Now to install the new one, same way as we took the old one, we're just going to put it right in there, and then we're going to screw it from behind. So now that we got the cold one removed, pretty much everything's ready to go back on. We're going to go ahead and remove the hot one just because it's easier to get this line out of there right now before we connect the rest of them. All right, so same way, you disconnect the plug. Loosen up the clamp and pull the hose out. All right, now that we got the hot valve disconnected, same thing from the back. There's 2 screws that we'll remove. Now that we got the 2 new valves installed, the hot and the cold, we're just gonna plug everything back in. All right, so we're gonna connect the lines. All right, we got all the lines installed. Now we're just gonna connect the electrical connectors. Now that everything's secured, we've connected all the water lines back on and the electrical connectors. We've attached the 4 screws from the back to the valves. Pretty much looked in here, make sure everything is cleaned out. Any water that might have dropped, clean that up. And then that's pretty much it. Next step, we're just going to put the top back on. Install the top. You're going to put it in about 1/2 inch from the front. It's going to fall in place. Once it's in there, you push it forward. There you go. After that, we're just installing the screws on the bottom 2 slots. After we got the screws installed, we'll just connect the water lines. Remember, just hot to hot, cold to cold. All right, we got the lines installed. Now, don't forget to turn on the water and plug in your machine. All right, guys, now that the valves have been replaced, I've gone ahead and ran it a couple times, checked for any leaks or any issues that could have happened. Everything works fine. I've ran it a couple times and not once have I gotten the error code. So before it was the error code every time I would run a load. Now it has cured that issue. So there you go. A very easy job that anybody can do. It costs about $35 and about 20 minutes of your time. So save yourself that call to the repairman and do it yourself, and you'll see how easy it is. And again, anybody can do this. If it helped you out, please give a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments that you got the job done. I appreciate you guys watching.